start singing a good niggun. Yilchov Yom Yerushalayim. Da 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 ma ya ma 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 da 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 ay 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 meshkach Yerushalayim tishkach 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 yemini meshkach Yerushalayim tishkach 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 yemini da 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 Oh, I missed you guys so much. You have no idea. It was barely. This is so bizarre. I was there less than a week. It was a short trip. I never missed Eretz Yisrael like I did this week, and I was just looking around, wondering how people could go for so long without Eretz Yisrael. It was such a strong feeling. It was a hard feeling, but it was so strong. Anyway, I'm just happy to be back in the month of, it's probably the last year we have in the month of Iyar, and I want to say shkach to the Sternbergs family, the Krams and Schaffner family, the Feigemann family for all their sponsors for the month. This week, and it's today, right? Itamar has Yortzeit today for his Abba. In memory of Itamar's Abba, Avram Yitzchak ben Aaron, Zichrono Livracha, who his perot of his tree that he planted many years ago is so beautiful and keeps on shining bright and getting bigger. B'shat tov u'mutzlachas. So B'ezrat Hashem, this should be the Ilui Nishmasa and Yishar Koach for the sponsors of this morning. Avram Yitzchak ben Aaron. Avram Yitzchak ben Aaron, when you're taking a bite, have in mind. Avram Yitzchak ben Aaron. I was with, I had an event last night with the Chaver from IDC in Herzliya, sweet Chaver. And I was telling them when we sing by Yerushalayim that why is this Shavua? Why does David HaMelech make this Shavua in Tehillim, Im Eshkochech Yerushalayim Tishkach Yemini? That, if I forget Yerushalayim, I may as well forget anything that, Tishkach Yemini doesn't just mean I'll forget my right hand. Like the famous poet sings, let my right hand forget what it's supposed to do. What does that mean? In the Pnimius, it means if I forget Yerushalayim, then I forget the purpose of why I'm in this world. So today's a very, very strong day of remembering. We're going to see it today also in the learning that we have today, of remembering what we're here to do in this world. It's also the day the Kohen Agadol, Rav Kook, Rav Kook's day of coming here was today, Chav Ches Iyar. So his light is shining very, very bright today, Rav Kook. Zichrono Livracha. I'm already thinking Shavuos night. I just want to take one chapter of Oros HaTorah, like this one thing of Rav Kook, and just cry over it and learn it all night long. Oh, Nachon. I wanted to say something that sometimes we have things that happen in the shul that are really, really, they may seem like small things, but they're the things that actually make the color of this shul. That you should all know the name of the Chevra here is, people are with us all over. Mamash, I saw it so strong. But when you hear that when children feel so much part of what's going on over here, it's amazing. I saw a kid during davening right now. His father wasn't here. His father davens earlier. He's here. He's not even bar mitzvah. He's standing there clapping, singing the whole time. These things give so much strength. Today, a portion of this morning's sponsorship was given by our dear Chaver, Reb Eli Goldschmidt's son, who took a portion out of his own savings and gave it towards the dedication of this morning's Seudah. And these are the things, I just want him to know, Reb Eli, you tell him, these are the things that give the batteries. This is the fuel that goes a very, very long way. So you should koach to him and to all the children that are flying high here. Baruch Hashem. Okay, so kacha, like this, we haven't learned in a few weeks. So you're gonna go back and say, does everyone have a seat? Do we have more over there? They're gone. Okay. I thought I just bought more. They're all done? Okay, great. That's a good thing.
On top of that bag? Or no? The bottom?
No. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem. Open up, please, page Kuf Yud Daled. Also, a shout out to our friend Rabbi Yosef Aaron, who's missing us very much. Be back in a few days. Sending him strength in Florida to keep on holding on. Okay, so let's go inside like this. The last thing we learned was that we were starting to learn about Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbos. And when we spoke about that Adam HaRishon has about an hour being alive, 2 or 3 hours being alive, and then right away, mamash, 3 hours after he's existing in this world, finds a soulmate, already Eitz Hadas goes into him, which means pirud, which means separation from that feeling of feeling just one, feeling tamim, feeling clean, before the world of Eitz Hadas started shooting arrows into his mind. On a personal note, I saw some childhood friends that I grew up with from the age of 3, 4 when I was in LA last week. Now, honestly, I'm sure that if I would spend every day with them, the rest from the age of 3 till now, I probably wouldn't feel what I felt when I was with them, because when I was with them, I haven't been with them since I'm about 9 years old. But the thing is that when I was with them, I was like, I felt so not mufra, I felt so close, I felt so not complicated, and it's because I'm looking at this, it resembles the few hours of Admar Rishon before Eitz Hadas kicks in, our friends when we're young, before we have all preconceived notions and all these thoughts and opinions which separates us from feeling so close. Simcha Peretz, Lance flew out from Jersey to come and be at the event in Los Angeles. Yeah, some very close friend, Mamish, going back many years. It was so good and not complicated to be with them, and I think it has to do with this concept of at a certain point where we also eat from the tree of knowledge, and this is the way Hashem designed the world. All these arrows and darts of pirud, of separation, like he explained to us last time, kicked in. And it can lead to Yeush, it could lead to despair very, very, very fast. But we discovered that when Adam HaRishon tasted Shabbos coming in, he saw, oh my God, it's possible to go back. It's possible to separate from the separation, to leave the world of Havdalah and go back to the world of what's called Yichud. Rav Kluger has two, hopefully we'll get to it one day. I once had a chavrusa with this with David Jerome. He has 2 svarim called Yichud HaShabbos, the unification of Shabbos. Shabbos is supposed to come back and bring you to a place of showing you that no matter what this week's Eitz Hadas representation in the world was, you come back and realize there's an opportunity to come back to the world of Yichud. And that's why he says, Admar Rishon started saying, Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbos. And then he starts saying, Tov Lehodos LaHashem. Oh, it's so good to say thank you, Hashem. It's so good to see that no matter how low I fall, Shabbos is always there waiting for me to remind me that it's never, ever the end. Ever. It's never the end. Thinking about this, I was working on this. I shared with some of the Chavra some piece from yesterday of Rav Shlomo. This is Parshas V'zos HaBracha. The end of the Torah, it says Le'ene Kol Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu did something, Le'ene Kol Yisrael. He did something really big in front of all of Am Yisrael. What is it that he did? So Rashi quotes the Gemara that says, what did he do that was so big in front of all of Am Yisrael? No? What did he do? He broke the luchos. Yeshar koyach sheshibaita. Rashi says what it. Yeshar koyach sheshibaita. What's so great about saying, wow, Moshe Rabbeinu, you broke the luchos. So you know how it is. When we finish the Torah, we start it right away in Simchas Torah. So what do right after this Shviras HaLuchos? Bereshis Bara Elokim. The secret of Yiddishkeit is, even if I fall to a place where Kivyachol, even the Torah that I have, I break the tablets, whatever that means. Bereshis Bara Elokim. That's the great thing. Not really the tablets that are broken, but the way that I get up right away afterwards. This happens every single week. Now, what happens to you when you feel this every single week? It has to me'orer in you this inyan of realizing that, well, if I know that Yichud is going to happen again on Shabbos, and I'm going to leave separation again when Shabbos comes, then why separate? Then why mess myself up again? Why cause myself to have to climb back so much stronger if I know that it's going to happen anyway? So that was a little bit of what we learned last time. We're going to continue today in Kuf Yud Daled, the second column on the left side, in the middle. All right, Re'eh. He continues this concept of Yaakov Meir Shechter. He says like this, Re'eh b'likutei halachos. Reb Nassan says, Shemevar is kol inyan brias Adam HaRishon. The be'osa shah shenolad Adam HaRishon nishlam dvar Hashem b'bria. We touched upon this last week. No, it was already 2 or 3 weeks ago. At the moment that Adam HaRishon was born, Hashem's word of creation was complete once he created man. Now for those first few hours, before he ate from the tree of knowledge, Adam HaRishon was walking around and looking at everything that Hashem created, and he was saying, Divrei Hoda, wow, thank you for this, thank you for this. When do I stop saying thank you for things that I see? When do I stop saying, huh?
When you're dead.
When you're spiritually dead, death, this Eitz Hadas, when it comes into your mind and you say, should I really be thankful for that? Because it kind of messes me up, Am I really thankful for that? I start judging everything that I see before just saying thank you for it. Especially between people. You look around the room right now. Are you able to say, Mamish, thank you, Hashem, for each person that's sitting at this table? Hopefully. But what usually prevents us from really just saying thank you? Let's be honest. I feel like this around that person. He has that opinion. He does that. They eat like that. They're vegetarian. Whatever it is that bothers you about somebody, right? Whatever it is, Khalila. Vegetarian.
Like I deserve it.
I'm not deserve. That's a great one. I'm not deserving of this. What am I saying thank you for? What is that? That's only after Eitz Hadas is inside of you. Before Eitz Hadas is inside of you, you just walk around saying thank you for this. I'm not judging it. It's just a beautiful thing that exists in my life. Just saying thank you for it. Adam Rishon is walking around the first few hours that he's alive, and he's saying thank you. And what a shleimus habriya, like a complete picture of the creation of the world. And he connected this world with all other worlds. I'm just repeating this. We ran through this last time. I just want to learn it again. God made man yasha. He created man straight. To be one with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Achen, tafkid sitra achra hu lenatek et ha'adam me'Hashem. The job of the other side is to take you away, is to disconnect you from that simple truth and oneness and straightness with which we're all born and created. Bilasot pirud, sheker, ugvuros. And to cause separation, lie, and gvuros. Gvuros over here means I'm so strong I don't need anybody else. Gvuros. Lo tzarich mishu acher. Hefech hayichud is the opposite of oneness and unification. Aval levasof yisapech hadavar, but at the end it'll be turned over. The yerida sa'adam tiyeh l'tachlis ha'aliyah, and we'll see that going so low and tasting such pirud, tasting such separation, will eventually bring me to be in the highest place of tasting such oneness when I realize how much I don't want to be there in that place of pirud. You ever walk into a room and you actually monitor yourself and you realize, try this next time. Next time you walk into a shir, walk into a shul, do a 5-minute alarm, okay, on your pocket computers. Do that. Set a 5-minute alarm, and after 5 minutes, check yourself and see how much pirud did my mind already bring me to by looking at the people that I'm with in the room. Huh? Oh, you're being large? I'm being 1 minute. No, 5 minutes, right? Because 1 minute's too. You'll be waiting for the alarm to go off. You say 5 minutes, right? After 5 minutes, check and see yourself. How much pirud how much Eitz Hadas energy did my mind already bring into the room right now? It's startling. Who has the guts to do that? Not on Shabbos, obviously. No one? Huh? Said it right now. Okay, all you set your no. Check in with you. Now it's already too. Yeah.
I remember obviously my Azamra bringing down the Kedushas Levi as well safe and down Katz about that this is like Shabbos. The same as we attribute other kinds of thoughts, the same kind of thought as the Rav saying, it's a period.
It's a period, mamash. It's a period. It's not supposed to be like this. Like the way we created, the way we walk the streets of the world is not the way God intended us to walk the streets of the world. We walk the streets of the world and we're choshed in every person that walks by us. We're suspicious about everyone. We're suspicious. We're just each person.
It's the most painful thing about
100%. But there's not them.
Business is the worst.
I'm not even talking about business. I'm talking about just like.
Business is knockout.
I'm talking about just walking down the street. Forget business. You're going to business. Forget that. We didn't even get there. Walk down the street. I was sitting in the airport, and nowadays it used to be you had to be reading something or have a really good excuse not to be engaged in any conversation with anyone. You see now what goes on when you're out there in the world. No one is looking at anyone but their screens. There's nothing going on between people. Nothing. There's nothing going on. So on the one hand, it's actually maybe better because it's less opportunities for active pirud. It's more passive pirud, What would these people do on Shabbos? They kept halachic Shabbos. What would they do on Shabbos? Oh my God! You mean there's this Indian of Beino what would they do? I'm telling you, I was walking around the airports, sitting on the plains, there's nothing happening between people. Nothing. It's such a funny thing to say. But could that be what Hashem had in mind when he thought of creating Adam Arishon?
Probably not.
Probably not. And it's, huh?
2040 probably before he had
Chas v'sholom. Listen, I have to say, like, we have to makabel on ourselves. It's not what he had in mind for us today either, you know. It's not what he had in mind. So the one day that I really snap out of that is what he's saying is Shabbos. It's Shabbos. And on Shabbos I have enough guts to snap out of Piru to go into Chibur. And what he's going to say over here is that causes a person to start doing something. Top of Kuf Tet Vav. וזה בעצם היה חטא של אדם הראשון בעץ הדס. שעל ידי זה נעשה פירוד בינו לבין השם יתברך ולכלל הבריאה. This is basically what the whole concept of Adam Harishon's sin was all about with the tree of knowledge. That through this, pirud happened between him and Hashem Yitbarach, but not just pirud between him and Hashem. Pirud between him and the rest of the creation. Rav Shlomo had a startling statement. He said like this, whatever you think about God is what you think about yourself. Whatever you think about God is actually what you think about other people. Zot omeret. I could say, listen, I'm not so much into the God business, but I'm really close with people. This is showing us that when there's a pirud that you have from Hashem, you really are mufrad between people as well. Sometimes you have people that are so big on being close to God when they come into a shul, right? But they can't stand being around people. So they don't connect to anybody. What would you say about that, based on what he just said right now? Say it louder, because it's a scary statement.
Too scared to say louder.
I know. Did you hear what Matityahu said?
What did you say?
I don't know. What did you say, Matityahu?
It reflects that you're not connected to Hashem.
Zot omeret, I could walk into a room and be so makpid that I get all my tefillahs out and make sure that I say everything that I'm supposed to say. But each person that's in that room, I don't feel any connection to it, nothing to do with. It's probably one of the deepest reasons why Chazal instituted the concept of minyan. En shchina shaya be'ela ba'asara. Shechina can only reside amongst 10 people. If you walk into a place of God, but the other pieces of God in the room mean nothing to you, then don't be so convinced that this romantic, intimate moment you have with God is so real. Because maybe it's not. In fact, what he's saying over here is that Adam Rishon realized that it's not. The second that he was pogim with the yichud with Hashem, at that moment, all those other things of creation that he was feeling connected to, he stopped feeling connected to also. Like, we have to understand this. What did Adam Harishon look at those first few hours he was alive? So what did he have to look at? Think about it. What did he have in this world that he could look at those first few hours he was alive before they were period? Animals, vegetation, heavens and the earth, clouds, the sun, the moon, the stars. He felt connected to all of it. There was no period. He felt very close to everything. He's saying here, the moment that he felt separated because of Eitz Hadas from Hashem, he started feeling separated from all those other things that he felt close to. If that's true about domem, tzomeach, right? If that's true about how do you say domem and tzomeach? Inanimate and vegetation, right? All the more so how much period you'd feel about people that you could actually converse with and be in touch with. Mamash, all the more so. Eli, you want to say something?
I was just thinking, the mikdash is called the Beis Tefillah, but shuls are called the Knesset.
Right. So you're saying that...
It's about getting together. It's about being together.
What else is called the Knesset?
That would be nice to be.
What a Purim reality. The Knesset is called the Knesset. It's like headquarters of Pirud in the world is called the Knesset. What a crazy thing. Fourth line, Achen kshigia yom HaShabbos, al yedei koach HaShabbos nimra pirud shelo yeh pirud gamur. Shabbos comes and it's like, whoa. Do you see how much separation there is? Okay, there's something in the world called Shabbos. We can't allow there to be a complete pirud in the world. We can't have it happen. Because it's the end of the world. If we allow the pirud to fully manifest, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the tachlis of the bria. So Shabbos comes and restores to us this. It's like a some would say it's like a life jacket, right? But really, it's what it's doing is it's not allowing the world to fully be separated, because then it's completely game over. Yeah, sure.
Just along, I have to say this, because along the lines of Donald Trump's I once heard from Bill Lippman that actually once like the cameras are off, the people in the Knesset they get along. It's like it's a lot of a show. Apparently.
Alavai.
That's what he said. He said he's seen them.
Alavai.
People they hug, they shake. Yeah, it's like it's not as bad as we think.
Well, they're doing a really good job in portraying the exact
They all have
opposite.
the same, they all and they get
No,
along. They're friends.
I saw a thing on TV. Well, I'm not done the Kavskut Ahmed Tibi and all the
Oh, okay.
Yemach Shmam, the Zichram, they should burn in hell. Like,
They-
not the enemies of Am Yisrael that infiltrated into what's called the Knesset, but I once saw it was a TV. It was the Knesset has its own TV. It has its own station, right, channel. Or it's a Knesset, and the camera went off, and then I don't want to say his name again because I just said his name, but one of those mamish evil people in the Knesset, a doctor. So the camera went off, and then one of the Knesset members from the Likud, he said, "Zel, ma korehi?" And then he like was like l'chaim with him, even though they were fighting like animals while the cameras were on. So even I would say the sheker of yichud in that chamber, the reason why it hurts so much is because it's supposed to represent the greatest form of Knesset. If it's representing Am Yisrael today. And anything that's not really, l'maisa, like really portraying what people are looking for in terms of government and leadership, it's on them more than anybody to get it together. And even though I know that I've heard what you said from him, from Dov, and from others as well. I've been there. I've seen it. I've been with my own eyes. It's just showing us how much more our Shabbos have to be a real, like in a Beit Knesset, there's got to be a real Knesset, Mamash, all the more so, 1,000,000 times over. Yeah.
You talk about are there about Shabbat? Are there any?
תגיד לי בעברית. אף אחד לא מבין, אבל אני מבין אותך, זה בסדר.
לא, פשוט, יש גם, השאלה היא, נגיד בשבת, שהרב דיבר על זה, יש מצבים שזה, אני יודע שהרמב"ם נגיד כותב שאם נגיד מסביב ונראת שמיים, אז ילך הבן אדם מתבודד לגמרי, רק לא להיות חלק מזה. השאלה היא, נגיד, בנושא של שבת, שנגיד, אז איך עושים את השלום הזה, נגיד, אפילו בתוך המשפחה, לפעמים שאנשים, אתה לא יכול להיות איתם בשבת, אפילו זה האחים שלך, זאת אומרת, הם לא שומעים שבת, או מורים, ילדים, איך עושים את ה-gathering הזה, שזה ככה, שזה...
אני אגיד לך בניגון, נכון, אתה צודק, אצלנו זה אפילו יותר, you hear what he's saying? He's saying like, how do you understand? The Rambam says that, when you're in a place when there's like 0 yirat shamayim, and it's in a shul even, like the Rambam says you should go and just meditate and be alone, because it's almost impossible sometimes to be in certain circles. He's saying to spend Shabbos even with family members that make it almost impossible for you, right? So he says, how do you deal with it? So how do we understand that? How can you make Knesset out of such a place when it's just the natural, the surrounding of where you're at is literally suffocating and causes you infinite pirud, separation. כי יש לנו את רבי נחמן מברסלב. רבי נחמן לימד אותנו בתורה של הזמרה. דע שצריך לחפש ולמצוא את הנקודות הטובות שנמצאים בכל אחד ואחד. It's true. Like until Rabbi Nachman came and said, "Listen, the whole take one. If you're going to live with one of my teachings every day," Rabbi Nachman said, "It's this one. It's the hardest one, but it's this one, Azamra, the Torah of the good points of the Nekudos Tovos." That it's true. It seems to me like these people have 0 yirat shamayim, or they could care less about Shabbos or whatever. But I'm sure there's a Nekuda Tova that I could focus on with them and choose to not see anything else when I look at them, and then like that, I'm causing the pirud to disconnect and a yichud to happen. וזה קשה רצח. כי זה דבר האחרון שאנחנו רוצים לעשות. It's very hard. Azamra is a very hard Torah. It's a beautiful Torah. We feel all jolly and good and happy, and Azamra l'Elokai be'odi. Like we finish learning it, we're sure like We solved all the problems of humanity. We have Azamra, Nekudos Tovos. Yeah? Go try it when you're not surrounded by like people that are like-minded. You know, go and try to implement this when it's actually hard to do it. And that's why Rabbi Nachman said, if there's one teaching you take with you that you live with every day, it's this teaching because you need to do that any place, in any given situation that you're at. Each of us have been in those situations that we're surrounded by people that are supposed to make us feel the closest, and we feel most alienated by them. And that's where that Torah is like oxygen. Because it's an avoda to do it at that moment. There's this, Rabbi Nachman says, great, now you're ready to do this avoda. Shabbos, he says, though, Shabbos brings that energy to the world. Shabbos brings that light naturally to the world. Like he says, Al yedei koach haShabbos nimna hapirut shelo yeh pirut gamor. Ulechach nisloiv Adam Harishon kshe'amar mizmor shir li yom haShabbos tov lehodos laHashem. And that's why Adam Harishon got very enthusiastic when he said, Mizmor shir li yom haShabbos. It's good to praise Hashem. That was his natural response. Like, Ve'yotu ba'Adam Harishon nichlelu kol habruim. And like we learned, in Adam Harishon, all of us are included in him. He is the primordial soul. So all of us are included in the neshama of Adam Harishon. V'lachen afilu adomem v'atzomeach v'achai. It's not just all of us, it's also the world of domem, tzomeach, and chai. Like we were describing 2 weeks ago, how if you read Kabbalat Shabbat, you read about mountains and rivers and trees clapping hands in appreciation and in admiration to Hashem. It's because Adam Harishon turned the whole creation back onto Hashem. The soul that's in every single object. The kiblu, he says, all these things, all the creation, everything that was created up until that point, kiblu nefesh v'retzonot shel kisufim laHashem. They all got a soul and a longing and a desire and a will to be close to Hashem. Achen miyad b'tzeis Shabbos vay avda nefesh az chal hapirud. And therefore, right after Shabbos leaves, what is it that is so hard about Motzei Shabbos? What is so hard? Like, how do you define Motzei Shabbos? Not just in Eretz Yisrael that like there's no Sundays, right? And that's what Motzei Shabbos could be difficult. Like someone asked me in Los Angeles last week, tell me something. We want to do it. We want to make that jump. There's this one thing we can't, for our mental health, we can't get over. I said, what? I was thinking like Masach Nasar or something, or like, how does it work? It's like Sunday, yeah. I said, Sunday? We don't, I don't know about you. I don't remember. I don't ever think about Sunday as being the problem of living here, right?
You can tell we have enough elections that it makes up for it.
It's true. We have enough.
It's not like that.
But what is it about Motzei Shabbos? What is he saying over here? What is it about Motzei Shabbos? What do you feel on Motzei Shabbos? What is it? What is this? What happens to the soul? So I had like 25 hours of like refuge of realizing it doesn't have to be so hard, right? It doesn't have to be so hard. Shabbos is here. The period's gone. The second Motzei Shabbos comes in, what's the first thing I say, Motzei Shabbos? I say the words of what's called separation. Havdalah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? You ever think about that? You may as well call it Pirud. What time is Pirud? You have a musical Pirud at your house? Imagine if we actually thought like that. What time is separation? It's the same thing. Havdalah, in our house we joke with a lot of Hebrew and English. We always say, kids, separation, come down. We always do that. What's the Inyan? So the Inyan is like mamash, like the way we're saying over here. Hine keli shuasi eftach velo efchal. Okay, I remember Shabbos exists. I'm gonna have bitachon, and I'm not gonna get scared about the period that I'm feeling again right now. Eftach velo efchad. I'm not gonna be scared. Why? Ki ozi v'zimras ka Hashem, because I know Hashem is greater than anything in the world. Shabbos is gonna come again. That's why I saw this. I shared with you once. I was in Brandeis University for Shabbos a few times. And one of the times I was there, the second they did Havdalah, the kids started dancing 6 more days till Shabbos. For like 20 minutes they were dancing around. 6 more days till Shabbos. I almost had to travel out there just to. They gave me a ticket for the MSBs, mamash, Yeah.
On that topic, I was just thinking, absence makes the heart grow fonder. We can remind ourselves of that immediately. we have to go down to the Gaza.
Because let's say if it was Shabbos all week long, it would stop being Shabbos.
It'll be stuck
In this world. Huh?
It'd be Olam Haba.
Right, but since it's not Olam Haba yet, but if we kept Shabbos just in Olam Hazeh for 6 days, then Shabbos would stop being Shabbos. In the next world, because we work differently with time, then that's Olam Haba. But in this world, is that what you're saying? Like,
And you could never prepare for Shabbos. You wouldn't have Shabbos.
there's no hachana for Shabbos. מי שטרח בערב שבת יאכל בשבת. אבל אם זה כל הזמן, right, whoever works hard Erev Shabbos will eat on Shabbos. But if it's always Shabbos, you're not going to eat nothing. There's nothing there. Nachon?
But I think what makes it harder is it connects to what we learned like a while ago, that like we should go into Shabbat thinking like that's it, like Kol Melacha Suya, this is Nitzchi, it's like we shouldn't have an Havdalah. And like now the Havdalah comes, it's like, but it's not supposed to be this way. It's supposed to be, Latid, like forever. And it's like we're breaking what was intended to be, and it's like it didn't have to be that way. 20 minutes ago in Shalosh Chodesh, we're still having Shabbat. It could have continued, and for some reason Mashiach still didn't come yet.
That's why, what are we talking about? What do we sing about right away? Eliyahu Navi. Mamash, to give us Nechama over there by saying, but one day it will. But one day it will. Anyway, it's already late, so we'll stop here. We'll continue from here next week is Shavuos. So in 2 weeks, Bezrat Hashem. And I hope and pray, Bezrat Hashem, that every single Shabbos that we have, the Pirud feels less and less and less. Less and less and less. And it schleps. It gets carried into the rest of the week. Stronger and stronger and stronger. It should be a beautiful Shabbos, everyone. Shkoyach.